some UP products which might be represented by a past dictator. Now, how much more efforts and sacrifices must our faculty give in order to make sure that our products would come out the likes of Pepe Diokno or Pelaez and others? And we must consider also our current socio-political environment. It can be very difficult to train people given our environment. Thank you, Mr. President.
That's why I just asked the questions. How? I did not provide the answers. I think the answers we'll have to find by ourselves from day to day, how to find the answers to the questions. I'm very good in asking questions. Not too good in supplying answers. But we keep trying. We know intellectually and in our guts, we know what should be done, what must be done, and we keep trying and see what will work under the circumstances. But I would not be foolhardy to prescribe before all of you what we should do, because the problems are formidable. But we do have, on the basis of our science, our social sciences, our experience, our recorded experience and so on, we do know what works and what doesn't work. And there are good examples, by the way. There is so much emphasis in the media on the bad things that are happening in the country. There are quite many good things that are also happening, but which are not highlighted, I think, in the media. So many of you are doing just these things in your own way, in your classes, in your volunteerism, in your columns, in your organizing. And so there are ways. And I think to give us more confidence about our ability to deal with these problems and so on, we should, I think, capture and record our experience, our successes in our efforts, because and we need to disseminate this, because the media is so powerful, project more of the terrifying things. But I should give credit, by the way, to the main dailies, because there seems to be an effort. In the case of the Inquirer, for example, on the front page, there is always an effort to balance the hideous headlines and stories with some good things that are happening in our community.
Thank you. I think we are now looking at UP Tacloban. They're ready with a question. Professor Lady Lynn Mangada.
Yes, good afternoon. We have a question coming from a BS Bio second-year student.
Dr. Abueva, you mentioned about UP graduates in the national offices occupying strategic position. In spite of their privileged position, it seems that the country has not benefited from their presence. Do you think UP has yet to produce good local leaders? Is UP not keen at producing transformative local leaders? Why the bias for the national against the local?
Well, the national leaders are the ones that hug the headlines and the main stories in our print media and the broadcast media. But in fact, we in the College of Public Administration, because we have a Center for Local and Regional Governance, have a good familiarity with many outstanding local leaders. They don't capture the headlines, but we collaborate every year in the discovery an assessment of outstanding governors, city mayors, and municipal mayors. And we have accumulated quite a record of these people. And we have publications about best practices of these leaders. And so that may be a media bias, but in academia, I think we pay equal attention to leadership at the local level. And now and then you hear stories about local leaders. For example, the more popular ones now are the governor of Pampanga, Governor Padaka in Cagayan, Isabela, and of course Mayor Robrero, and but there are many more. Every other year, we collaborate with Congress in ascertaining the most outstanding, as I said, local leaders. And yes, I think sometimes we are very good in recording and publishing, but not too good in disseminating our findings so that more people would know about the results of our research. Now, kuminsan tayo, like, scholars, until now, I'm 80 years old. No, I feel young because I'm 20 years younger than UP. I'm so excited with a new book, looking at the book. But how many really read these books? So we have to find ways of better dissemination, effective learning from what we have learned.
All right, thank you, Professor. We have a question from UP Cebu. The moderator is Dr. Maria Rosario Ballescas. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello. I'm Hakong Nong Pepe. We're very happy to join you from UP Cebu, where you graced, where you were one of our students early on, and we are coming live to you straight from where the charter of UP was signed as a national university. First, we would like to thank you and give you a standing ovation for a very beautiful speech, please.
Salamat kayo ninyo diya. Mga Bisaya yun mo.
Dagang salamat mo na itatak Bisaya. We have a question, please, and the question is coming from our Associate Dean, Primitivo Mirenio, and if I can read it to you, please. His question is, should you take more more action to sustain the activism that it teaches within UP, how to bring this sustained activism beyond UP. This is related to the questions earlier made by our partners elsewhere, that they're active within UP, yet get co-opted, and they form, and worse, they form part of the system and leadership after UP. What can you please say about this view? Thank you.
Day, usbara ko itong imong pangutana, day. Ragwa man ko kayo na klaro ato. Will you kindly repeat your question?
Sir, I will just read it for you. I have the question via Skype. I will just read it for you. How can the activism of UP students, faculty, and staff be sustained beyond UP? Often, outside of UP, more get co-opted and worst, become part of the system and leadership that they often criticize within UP.
I don't have wisdom in this because I have not been a street activist. I've been an activist of sorts, but there are people here like Dodong who can answer that question better. But you see, I feel that in the last years, activism has spread wide among our universities. Many of the Catholic universities and colleges are very active in the street, in the internet, in organizing. And so it's not just a UP phenomenon. No? And by joining hands with them, uniting with them, and have this also happen in the provinces. But this is also happening in the provinces, I noticed. No? So, I don't know, the internet is available, and if our activist leaders could use more of it. But there is nothing like yung sama-sama, no, being really together to catch the fire, to catch the, and to be able to work together. The circumstances in our country are ripe for activism, for more activism.
Thank you, sir. We have a question from UP Baguio. The moderator is Professor Vicky Constina. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Abueva. May I read out question written by our Chancellor, Dr. Priscilla Santos. You talk about rule of law and learning to trust one another more. How can the UP faculty member even attempt to cultivate respect for the rule of law if what students see is moral bankruptcy and corruption in those who lead in government?
You know, as a political scientist, having been around for quite a long time, the government is not just one color, you know. It's not all black and all that. Especially if you go around the country, and that means the local level. There are exceptional leaders and individuals, no? And not only in government. As we can see, there are many civic organizations, businessmen involved in civic organizations that are trying to help with the objective of improving governance, or the objective of helping basic education, for example.